Welcome to Thrifty Garage. In today's video I'll be helping James program his new Rainbird ESP-TM2 controller.
Alright, just here with Carson from Thrifty Garage.
In a previous video we did the basic installation process, so if you need help with that, please check that out.
So what will be the first step here?
So I generally go to the date and time first.
Okay.
And set the date and time. So we use the over arrow to go to the next, to the month, or we can push the plus sign to go up days. So today is the 13th of August.
2018.
And then you can cycle through to the next one and make sure that there's nothing after that. Okay, so we have the time after that.
So you can hold it down and it'll cycle through a little bit quicker, looks like, which is nice. And I can cycle through. Perfect. Okay.
So 12 hour, 24 hour, you can decide. If you would, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. So we're good there, and then just keep going clockwise. We can go to the start times. So when do we want the program A to run on its first cycle? And then we can just push the plus sign. It'll usually start at 12 o'clock and then roll through the clock.
Okay.
If you go back around to 12, it'll turn that back off again.
Okay, so and then in this section it's going in 15-minute increments close to the time, so it's a little bit quicker to program. So I think for my first zone I'd like it to come on about 4 a.m. and this first zone is actually a spray zone. How many minutes should I allot for that zone?
A good rule of thumb is about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So that will be your first run time. If you want multiple run times, you would click over to the second, but usually most systems, unless you're establishing new solid, only need one run cycle. If you by chance had a garden or planter beds that you wanted to run different days of the week, if you're watering your grass 4 days a week and watering your plants 1 day a week, you can hit that program select up in the top right, and that'll move you over to program B, and you could set a runtime for that as well. Most controllers will have programs A, B, and C. Okay, so you're all ready to go. Anything on program A will start running at 4 o'clock. So now we move over into run times. So this is station number 1, which is, like you said, a pop-up zone. So we'll want to shoot for 15 minutes. Click over to station 2.
And then this one's a rotor zone.
I generally recommend about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on what size nozzles you have. So probably 40 minutes would be a good place to start. If you wanted to run either one of those or a different zone on program B, this would be the time to click over into program B.
Awesome. So we just want to make sure that whatever we do with the time, we want to keep it consistent going through with the start times, run times, the days. Make sure that we stay on the same program.
Exactly. So if you program everything on program A, it's going to start at zone 1 and then move through. If you have 0 minutes for number 3 and then 10 minutes for zone 4, it's going to skip 3 and move right on to 4. Now we've got run days. So right now it looks like it's set up for every day of the week on program A, and you can do plus up or plus down. So plus advances you and makes it on, or minus would advance you but also turn it off.
I'm just trying to get my lawn. I've got a couple of dead spots, so I'm going to run it maybe a little bit more than I normally would, just to kind of green everything up, and then I'll be cutting it back. With programming this, once I've got all my grass kind of greened up, how many days a week should I be running it?
This time of year in our region, about 3 or 4 days a week would be sufficient. Middle of season, peak season, and then you would dial that back to a fewer days a week until October.
So I think I'm going to leave it. This is kind of an off day on probably Sunday.
What's next?
So sensor.
You know, we obviously don't have a sensor hooked up, nor are we planning on installing one. Let's go ahead and try the plus or minus and see what that does. So sensor now disabled. So it's going to bypass the sensor, which is exactly what we want. Okay, we'll move over into seasonal adjustment. You set up 15 minutes of runtime in the spring. By middle of season, you could move that up to 150% or even 200%, and that would, 200% would double your runtime to 30 minutes.
And so on this all, what is that referring to? Is that all zones, all programs? what is that referring to?
So you've got programs A, B, and C, so all programs. So now you can do it specifically to program A, B, or C, or you can do it to all programs. Okay, manual station is the next one. So now would be a good time to test our zones. So manual all zones, so you can select how many minutes. Usually 2 minutes is a pretty good amount. And then that will just run the 2 zones we've wired up.
Starting that up, it just gives you a little indicator here, just to hold the right arrow.
And then it will click over to the next one. This is that rotor zone.
So if I'm all done with the test, I don't even need it to run for 2 minutes. Can I just click it into the off?
Exactly right. You can turn it over to off. And then once you let that, you wait a second, now it shows that it's turned off. And then we can move it to auto, so it'll return back to normal watering.
I think that should be good to go. Maybe the last thing here, we put the plate on. Keep it all nice.
You've got a programming chart right there, and you can manually write in that.
On the other side, just walks you through those same steps that we went over.
Exactly, it comes with this quick start guide, which shows you the programming process.
Very easy, very easy. I like that you just go through each step. It makes a lot of sense as you're programming it. So very, very user friendly.
Check out the LNK Wi-Fi module installation video. Thanks for watching this Thrifty Garage video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.